Welcome to Onivia, League of Legends highlights. These are the best highlights from today's LPL matchup.
Top lane, because we just witnessed 1xN E-forwards as Milky Way is entering the bottom lane. This is an opportunity for FPX to start the bot lane strong. Flash force, but the Q goes wide from life, and it means now 1xN can chase. Now Baytron can flash forward for first blood, and he gets his first reset to set up for a second kill. Life has nowhere to go. Double for 1xN.
Yeah, there's no Milky Way in the sky tonight. It is just top lane means you don't need it in bot lane. 1xN and Feather can take a heal instead of that exhaust. It means they can be more lane dominant. The problem when you give that counter pick support over as well. Braum is not an uncounterable champion.
Oh my
God, they might even just die.
They're just gonna kill him with the tower. Life gets his shield up. It won't save him. Feather tanks, and then a flash cleanse over the wall from 1xN, so he gets away. Care though, stuck inside the circle, looking for the reset, but flashes just after power early. For Ezreal, just completely ignored this game. 1xN already basically stacked for the steer as Care is caught in the mid lane. Dashes away from the damage though. Very nicely played on the Lucian, and the tower shot goes through. Care flips it around.
Baytron misses the stun and his ult. Care manages to sidestep all of it. Now Milky Way comes to answer. Yukal has flash.
Yukal is doomed and he can't turn it around. Care finds two off of a 2v1 in mid. See that happening again today now Malignance is finished off. It does seem to be
full build.
Doesn't it?
Remember the full build Poppy, which is teleport wars. The Observer is very zoomed in on that.
The Observers do something we didn't there. Double TP, ZDZ and Care come into the play. They want to shut down 1xN and shut him down. They will. ZDZ grabs the bonus gold.
Close out the game.
Baytron gets the shield away from the ace in the hole. Doctor moves up to try and secure this crowd. Herald is up on the map, and it looks like FPX really want to fight for it, but TT not going away without a fight. The ZDZ's on the top side of the play, gets stunned by Baytron, but that's not a 1v1. Baytron wins. Has to ult over the wall himself as Yukal finishes the job onto the lightning rat. Care trying to do the opposite to Feather here. This true shot barrage goes through, hits only Doctor, but here comes Hoya looking for the all out. He'll just find the support as a cheeky little freebie on the bottom side of the play. TT take Herald.
They've really tried to set up this, haven't they? The Observer's toggling on that fog of war. Yeah, Feather's been here for a while. Baytron's here now. Here's the teleport. ZDZ, this has been well overdue.
Yeah, Herald slammed down. ZDZ has the slicing maelstrom, but Hoya has that exhaust. Keep your eyes on Hoya, slamming that summoner spell as soon as ZDZ pops the ultimate. And in fact, he does. And in fact, it saves the team. And in fact, the tower goes down. And in fact, the cannon goes down. But it will be traded for a tower for Care on the top side. However, we're looking at a second charge. We could be looking at 2 towers here for TT.
Hold that. 5% attack speed and that cooldown reduction is a big price for them. So, the overall trade is kill, tower, bit of a charge onto that inner tower as, like, you know, magical bolts instead of actual, you know, I think
at the Olympics that might be cheating, to be honest.
Yeah, well, maybe that's why he's not here. He's bracing the Summoner's Rift instead. Engage comes through.
1xN's core has to cleanse. Jumps away from Milky Way, but can't return the damage. And there goes Feather as Hoya now on a flank. And Yukal wants to follow up as well. Live takes a chunk and will be finished off. There's one reset for the Braum, but can't find the passive. And now ZDZ has found himself behind enemy lines totally alone. Slicing Maelstrom available, but I don't think it's going to save him. Bit of damage across, but he falls once again.
FPX, they overset. We called this out. If this happened a few minutes later around a Baron spawn, that could have been really game-changing.
ZDZ as well, kind of just caught off on the side. Milky Way caught out again. You just said if it happens around the Baron, well, guess what? Milky Way dies right next to the Baron. The rookie of the split, the superstar of spring, falls just as the biggest objective appears on the map. TT, not only should they get this Baron, but Drake's up again in 2 minutes as well, and they'll have Baron to set it up. FPX have to make a miracle happen. Ace in the hole does diddly squat. Care has to carry, but the Baron is already gone. Hoya trying to set it up here as Care will be the one to go down. And Baytron finding more and more resets. ZDZ's got nothing in the tank, and TT obliterate FPX.
FPX find nothing at the Baron pit except thunder, lightning, and a lost team fight. TT, they have managed to recover a couple of their stumbles from earlier in the game, and they are now very firmly in a game-winning position. Baron buff, which can lead into that soul. They have themselves their 2-item spike on 1xN, and the whole team is firing off on all cylinders. FPX.
Highest I've ever seen on that chart. That is insane. Ucal doing some crazy things on the Aurora. H1 happy to follow up with those resets, but it's been a beautiful game here from TT. Hoya tanks up the culling. Feels like Care has to carry, but it feels basically impossible. As ZDZ jumps onto the back line, he's going to get Feather, but at what cost? Because the rest of the team is falling to pieces. 1xN happy to carry it as Hoya finishes off his late opponent. And Milky Way all alone in the world, and 1xN wants a bit of revenge for one attempted gank down in the bot lane early.
Aww.
You don't get away with nothing this time around.
Yeah, I don't think that's a kind little buddy in the mid lane. That is the killer buddy rabbit. Ucal gets onto the back line, and TT, they just end this game around that dragon. They get that soul. They still have that Baron. A 7,000 Baron power play. A lot of our worries about Nirvana versus Ascend, I think we can put them to rest at least for now. This should be now a very, very competitive series, hopefully, after this point. FPX, they has very much gone out of proportion. 10,000 gold lead before 24 minutes. That's not okay, Joe.
It's a problem for another game, but honestly, FPX should be thinking about problems for other games at this point. We've seen that at all from ZDZ. He's been looking for these flanks, and it's not worked out at all. Oh, Doctor.
Oh, Doctor. Well, this is why it doesn't work out. How can you play around organized team fights when you don't have an AD carry? Doctor lost lane, and he has kind of proceeded to do very, very little, because then you're a Caitlyn, you just can't do anything.
Yeah. I mean, that last death just feels like tilt, doesn't it? There's no way a professional player should be caught out in that kind of position. That is a little egregious as a blast code to knock Ucal in. Okay, Milky Way, I see you. Gets the blast code for the engage. There we go, Lesriels. He's away this time as Baron had been started by H1 and Ucal, but they peel away. 5v5 on the cards, but Milky Way just ain't tanky enough. The Mystic shots do not know how to miss. And 1xN continues to snowball these fights like crazy. True Shot Barrage almost available again as well, and Milky Way is already chunked. A walk away with his life, but just the one pick is enough as a flash forward from H1. ZDC locks him up,
Two levels up.
Just no damage, and H1 1v1s the enemy top lane.
He's 2 levels up on the cannon. Yeah, you were calling out that cannon earlier. Where are the aggressive angles? Why aren't they working out? Well, they've been very well countered by TT, but also now at this point, there's just no XP. There's just no gold, and there's no hope in this one. We said FPX, well, they probably need to look towards a Baron steal. Now so easily shredded through by TT. They'll get themselves their first inhib. They don't even need to back off for the Elder if they don't want to. Why give FPX the chance to get a miracle steal when you just push into the base?
Well, TT, with the Baron, with the Hex Soul, they grab themselves that bottom inhib, and immediately they sort of do everything in their power to... Oh, hang on, 1xN goes for these. I've seen him do it before. Life next on the chopping block. Colin comes on in and ZDZ catches him. It's a shutdown and a half as Feather and Ucal trying to get on the bottom side of the player will find ZDZ. Hoya looking to be the engage as Feather goes over the wall looking for a tether, but he can't find Care, and the stun goes wide on Doctor. TT lose their big carry. Can't really snowball the fight.
And Feather really shows that Raptor what for. Tethers up the big Raptor instead. The Elder is still up. Life is still down. ZDZ is still down. It's a 4v3 around the Elder.
It's 3v3 right now as Hoya TP's back into the mid lane. He could get a flank angle here. This could be disastrous for FPX, and Care suddenly realizes what's going on. Pulled into the fray and taken to pieces. TT, they start strong in the bottom lane. They dominate the mid game, and now Hoya wants a slice of the action as we enter the late game. Elder taken, and TT show us that Nirvana ain't done just yet. Their group matters too. As Ucal finds a bonus. That'll be game, and that'll be TT taking the first of the series.
Yeah, are they Nirvana or are they AC/DC? Either way, I think FPX have been thunderstruck. This has not been a close mid to late game. The Aurora is let through, the Ezreal goes off, and TT slammed through this first game.
FPX looking a little bit lost across the course of this one. His life tries to 2v1. He's done everything he can as a Braum in that situation, but honestly, the Braum pick did not work at all. TT, a beautiful draft, a beautiful game, and honestly, little bit of flexing from them.
Welcome to Onivia, League of Legends highlights. These are the best highlights from today's LPL matchup.
This game, that wasn't necessarily the problem, but 1xN, yeah, maybe it's too much to give that. Yukal might be walking into a mid-jungle here. That's a bit dangerous.
Yeah, that was bold from Yukal. He's forced to flash away, and he will just be chased down. Yukal just gifts Milky Way 400 gold.
The way that you don't expect coming through. Well, that's what unexpected is. But Beitron, see if he can combo up with that one again. Is off of Vision.
Oh, Doctor in so much trouble here. Big damage there. Root comes on through True Shot Barrage onto life, and a flash to finish the job. Milky Way, though, maybe can carry. 3v3 here. His Feather caught by the Swirl Seed. Milky Way looking for the multi-ultimate and will find two. Beitron, the target, is in flies Doctor, but they don't have the damage to finish the job. And 1xN is still firing away, still hitting these Mystic shots. ZDZ now caught in the top side as well. Will the fights ever end?
Either. Yukal jumps in, immediately has to pop the Buster shot. Now Milky Way alive, they are full HP. They see this on the sweeper.
Oh, I thought he was going to get the recall, but no. Beitron caught. The shield's coming up through as well as Milky Way pulled into the death row. Flashes over the wall, but so does Hoya and finds his 1v1. Now Care tries to answer off the back of the death row, but that is one beefy Mordekaiser, and he's shredding FPX. Beitron here with the shields to set up his carries. His Feather might fall. The Q3 finds him, but ZDZ gives his own life to make that happen. Care and Life baiting in River because Doctum's not far away.
He manages to get one back, but I mean, most of this play is FPX fighting off more than they could shoot.
Oh, hang on. Grub's happening with Beitron. Manages to steal one. It's a good knockup coming out from Life as here comes Hoya. He's beefy, but that's two asleep and Beitron won't fall. The shields are gone, and it means FPX can push on forwards. Feather will fall as well, and it's two for the Birds of Red.
Right, so FPX bit off more than they could chew in the fight before this. Now it's TT's turn to do the same. 5 grubs over to FPX, 1
Hang
is...
on, deep TP, speaking of the Mordekaiser, Hoya behind enemy lines, and he looks immediately for Milky Way. Where you gonna go, little dear? I want myself a 1v1. The big man of metal turns out pretty good against Wildlife. Who could have seen that coming?
Chomps down again, swings the mace down, and Milky Way goes down with it. Milky Way, much better early game from him on the whole, but he's not been immune to the shenanigans of this early game. This is important. What did we say before this? There were problems with giving up those 2 dragons to the Grubs team. They are still going to give them... Oh, Hoya's just fought himself now.
Oh, Doctum looking to grab himself a kill as well. Hoya should go down. The shields, though, come through. Actually, Hoya turns out completely invincible.
Oh, he does have an ability which helps him do that, but so FPX, they get themselves that tower on top side, but they do give up that dragon on bot side. TT, they don't get at least hit with that really annoying question of what do you do against a dragon stacking Grubs team. That'll be something which they solve through, but they do lose themselves that tower on the top side.
Bringing his best here in playoffs. Remember, it's single elimination at this early stage of playoffs. And FPX already 1 game down. They're going to do everything they can to fight back into this series. And so far, with 2,000 gold lead and a Herald in the mid lane, they're looking like a favorite here in the second game. That's a second tower and a double knockup from Life as well. Beautiful bit of play from FPX, and an all out from ZDZ. Takes himself to the wrong side of the map and suddenly has to flash over the wall instead. But nobody going down. ZDZ 1 HP is 1xN hunting for the Mystic shot, but Yukal flashed away from the knockup, and 1xN finishes ZDZ. Now they look for more as Feather finds that Zenith blade, and TT answer the mid lane.
Still there, and you have the root callers too. It's really, really nasty. Great flash predict there from Beitron.
Yep, Beitron and Feather rolling the map for FPX. I do feel like this game is being accelerated, which, with an Ivan double AD carry composition...
They have themselves a dragon up in a minute. They could choose to leave this one go, but I think they're also ready to fight as well, unless Yukal does this.
Oh, double knockup comes out from Live, but it's a huge play from FPX. Double sleep to follow up as well. Who needs to get rid of the Ivan shields when you just get rid of the Ivan?
From 0 to 0, that's Yukal hitting the ground once.
FPX, are they willing to stick around and try and find a fight here? Feather is going to be the one to face check. Did they really get a second kill in the exact same way as the last
mid lane?
What?
Solo kill.
Doctum's been solo killed by 1xN off the screen, and suddenly TT are well in for the Drake.
So FPX back off of the Dragon, realize they don't have any ultimates, but they still stick around long enough to die to a random kill to the Ezreal. That's going to give a Dragon over to TT. This should have been the game-changing...
It was last year, it's only his third split. Not looking like it here, as UCal could be caught in the top side. Great Buster shot, is it enough though? Flash from life, and there's the charm. ZDZ even TP'd in. Just to steal away the kill from Care, to be honest. But that's Baron, potentially. 30 seconds until UCal's back.
So FPX realize they're not winning through mid lane, they win on the side, they start up the Baron, but can they deal with 1xN?
1xN's got to get damage out. That's a big chunk onto Care. ZDZ tries to flank, but Feather's there on the front line. Big damage onto ZDZ, but he's so hard to get through, and he just buys time for the team. They get into the pit, and it's taken by Doctum. ZDZ will surely finally fall. 1xN gets him, and in the meantime, Hoya has bought space for his team. He's bought time for his team. Is it enough to finish the health bars? H1 and 1xN and Feather have to make the chase down. Milky Way clears the minion wave as the rest of FPX are just going to try and reset in the brushes. Doctum abandoned by his team, and he will fall, but it's only 2 in trade for Baron.
You still take that as FPX. That trade of 2 for Baron still working out. A lot of these fights, yes, but it has been hard fought in terms of the macro.
UCal actually sticks around in the top side. FPX will be able to grab themselves a tier 2 as well as that Drake. So, you know, pushing the top side and trade for the Drake, that would be fine. But pushing the top side and also losing the tier 2 in the bottom side, not ideal for TT really, as they continue to fall further behind. This could be the last they play. But if they make it further into playoffs, there's still a chance of making it to regionals, especially for FPX, who did well in spring. There's a reasonable chance of making it to regionals and potentially making it to worlds, even if you don't go that far in playoffs. But 1xN's gone too deep. He was the hero. He was meant to carry the team, and he's caught out of position. And it means the rest of TT fall asunder. FPX, just when it looked like they were out, just after being destroyed in game number 1, they find their moment and decimate TT. Fantastic little fight coming out from them. Great pick. And it's turned into an inhibitor, and it might just turn into the game.
Well, FPX won out in the macro. They set up the jaws to be shot onto 1xN in the mid lane. The hero of TT finds himself at an inglorious end.
FunPlus Phoenix rise from the ashes after losing game number 1. It's a tired old analogy for the team, but just when you think it's been used to...
Welcome to Onivia, League of Legends highlights. These are the best highlights from today's LPL matchup.
Things like that out there. Yeah, I mean, UCal has chosen to be alone in that mid lane for now. 2v2, definitely more action here, though.
1xN and Feather. Oh, flash forward to the Q, lands. True shot barrage. Is it enough with an ignite and an auto? 1xN finds first blood. 1xN all the time.
And just watch this again. This is the power of the Ezreal Leona. If Leona goes in, you are proccing the Leona passive. In early game, it's a lot of damage. Tags the ultimate, flashes for the last auto, gets himself that kill, and he gets the kill credit as well. We talked about how Ezreal getting early gold is important. Hoya 1v3.
3-man play at the top side from FPX. They answer for what 1xN did down in the bottom side and get ZDZ onto the board that early. CS lead
people later on, especially with a Smolder ult follow-up. Therefore, shutting down the Renekton like this is removing a powerful tool from
Invade onto the blue buff from Feather and H1 using that bot prio. So UCal takes a big chunk from Care, but getting so many Qs back onto it. It's kind of an even trade as 1xN now caught in the 2v2. Doctum should be able to finish the kill off and get himself a much-needed injection of gold.
Okay, so FPX striking back early game to get themselves into position to this. Actually, you know, hang about. We do have Feather with ult and ignite. If Hoya comes around, this could be a big fight.
First scrub taken by Milky Way, but Feather's moving in. Hoya pops the Dominus as well. Milky Way might have to flash out the back side, but does actually get a second grub as well. And with a TP coming on in, FPX want to find the fight for themselves. Feather on the front line is about as heavy as a feather, taken to pieces straight off the bat. ZDC chunked though, and in goes Hoya to set up for a response kill. It's 1-for-1. With the grubs taken by FPX, and now they look for more of a fight as well. Milky Way jumps in for a 2-man sleep. He's on fire himself though, as UCal spitting over the wall, but this baby dragon doesn't have enough breath. FPX though, they know what's but UCal, in the meantime, just gonna set up for a tier 1.
Good gold into the Smolder. This is, yeah, gonna echo your concerns here, Joe. This is a lot of resources are gonna go into it. UCal said he was struggling. This champion should really be in a position now to is now down an ultimate, which potentially could become in handy at some other point. Hoya has been fighting himself on weak side a little bit. He's been left alone a fair amount. Also life, catching people out in the jungle.
Potential pick here onto Beige1. Sleep available. They don't even need it. Beige1 down, but it's 2 in response. And a great answer here from TT. They're the ones with the smolder, and they're somehow winning the fights anyway. Feather will fall to make it 3v3, and both teams disengage.
From the Herald either, and they're also going to give some damage over to TT on their own mid turret at the same point. Overall, bad trade from FPX.
It's been a very strange series in when and where fights are being taken. Like, UCal is going to be an absolute terror to deal with later on. He's just stacking off on the Krugs in the meantime while the tier 1 of the bot lane is threatened. And all of this is going on while this, but it's kind of difficult. The wave play is really good on TT. ZDZ charges in to protect his minion wave. As I'm looking at 1xN hitting those Qs. And I'm also looking at UCal trying to get stacks before the fight starts. 1xN, what are you doing? He eased straight into everybody, and Feather pays the price. Ingo, everyone care, finishes off the AD carry. UCal looking for stacks. That's one down to ZDZ will fall as well. Doctum low on HP too as Beige1 gets the burn. It's 3v2 remaining. It's UCal is still going strong. No ultimate available for him, but they can maybe chase for more kills if a stun could come on through. Vision denied. UCal is confident. He's only 20 stacks away, but it doesn't even feel like he needs the stacks at this point. As Beige1 moves forward as well. There's no smite for FPX, so if it's an even Drake, Beige1 gets it.
And also Beige1 and UCal have flashes. They have a lot of damage at this point. 1xN makes one of those Ezreal players care looking for the assassination.
UCal flashes away. He can't get over the wall, though. He just flaps on the spot, and UCal will fall. Beige1 stuck in the back of the pit. True Shot Barrage is huge. Onto life. The passive is there. The dragon will go down. Beige1 has flash available and will be forced to use it in the end. It's the previous fight, and FPX want to utilize that fact. They start the Baron straight away. Feather has to be the one to face check in. Life spots him. As a TP immediately committed by Hoya, but is it going to be soon enough? Life just buying as much time as he can while the rest of the team are on the Baron. Baron taken by FPX, and ZDZ just sacrifices himself to get the team out of dodge. Baron snagged by FPX.
Once again, FPX.
Tristana is such a potent pick. She's just so good at shredding towers.
Yeah, it turns out Tristana's a lot better when you're not face-checking bushes randomly like UCal did in that last game. Care. Been a lot more responsible with that lead. That's the word I'm going to keep using with this. Responsible. You can be powerful, but you have to make sure that you're not giving over easy advantages. Care safely pushing in. Feather is roaming down towards here, but there's no angle onto Care. Smolder does take another tower on that top side. More gold over towards UCal, and that is something for TT to hinge off of. This Smolder will definitely be a factor beyond this point. Absolutely so, but FPX racking up some really good structure damage with this Baron push.
They move in into the mid lane. They're just looking for a dive under the tower. It's not going to work out for them as Life is caught out and taken down. And 1xN is hunting for a little bit more. Milky Way gets his stack onto 2, but
walk. Once again, just hitting again and again. Dragon Starter would be sold for TT.
Moya trying to face check in. Feather trying to face check in. Gets a stun, but there's no real follow-up. The dragon flies across the squad. Feather falls down. Milky Way still alive as Hoya falls as well. And UCal just about flashes, but he's put to sleep. No cleanse and no remaining health. UCal down. Dragon down. Phoenix up. Rising to the sky once.
Whether they should have committed towards this in the first place. It is a single Cloud Dragon going over to the side of FPX, and you can always keep stacking up on that Smolder. You can always build more items on the likes of your... I mean, Pokemon tiers have healing too. Smolder looks like a little bit like them. I don't know, I'm reaching a little bit for this one, but TT are definitely reaching for the top shelf where that Soul Smolder is right now. Can he help this fight?
Beige1 is just getting shredded. So is Life, but he manages to get out with exactly that. And Doctum, an assassin on the back line, finds his moment to strike. Feather trying to buy space, but here comes UCal, still stacked up. Health bars low on the opposite side as he's surrounded. ZDZ trying to get onto the dragon, and he finds a bonus onto the Croc instead. Double sleep, Q3 comes in. How are they doing this? Doctor with another, and FPX fight it out. Oh, Care's
back, he's teleported in!
TP is miraculous, and FPX once again find that miracle.
TT just can't find their fight. They stack up on the smaller, but it is a series of missteps too far. And FPX, they've been the ones with the finer dancing shoes on in this third game. They had a great game one to Thunder Talks, but FPX are going to come back at them with a Baron.
Doctum last game was solo killed by 1xN in the mid playoffs.
I think particularly FPX on the macro level have been much more calm and collected. They've been much more decisive about the engages that they've been going through, and they've really now got themselves a very powerful Kai'Sa to play through, who's got that Nash's Tooth, of course, we pointed out earlier. That AP poke, very, very powerful, going towards a Nash's, a Zhonya's later on too. FPX, when they have this lead in multiple lanes, I'm much more convinced that they can close out a game than TT, who have occasionally had those horrific missteps, whether that's from UCal or 1xN, important members in high-pressure scenarios. They've had their great moments, but it is being racked up against the weak ones too.
I mean, Feather and H1 as well have their fair share of moments where they've been caught out of position across this series. And honestly,
just works eventually. Sometimes you're sat there, remember the Duskblade build where you sat there thinking, well, it's not great, then he hits 4 items and you have the incredible cooldown, that can be nasty as heck. Life actually forced to flash out here, talked about how he was doing well at surviving before. That could be a problem.
H1 flashes for the 1v1 with Milky Way, but in the meantime, Care assassinates UCal. He's in a 2v1, he will fall. The Feather grabs that kill, but in the meantime, it's Hoya caught out in the top side as well. FPX, out of nowhere, have got 3 kills for themselves. 1xN and Feather have to save the game for TT. Solar Flare onto the minion wave. The minions are gone, but there are supers coming.
Yeah, Care just sees the angle onto UCal and says, alright, yeah, I'm deathless, I could save my KDA, but no, it's more important to kill the most important member of the other team, take the dragon down, see if it leaves an opening. FPX charging in now with that 4v2. There are respawns coming up in 20 seconds. I think that might be too long.
20 seconds is a long time away. 1xN has to E away from the Q3, but that's 1 tower down already. Milky Way still surviving his Feather. Tries to tank up for his AD carry, but the minions are blocking 1xN. There's nothing he can do on the Ezreal to save the game. Milky Way survives. The Nexus is down. And
Welcome to Onivia, League of Legends highlights. These are the best highlights from today's LPL matchup.
Gold at the start of a game. You used to get something like that. There was a rule which gave you... There was, yeah, for a brief while. You could actually get a little bit more gold at the start of the game. Doctum, he's well out of sorts here.
Yeah, it was a good sidestep on the Zenith blade, but the fact that you're there to have to sidestep is a bigger whoopsie. Doctum, not the way he
He's already shown it a little bit in this early game.
And TT lean on their sort of habits across this series as they continue to focus on the early Drakes. Much higher priority on them than the Herald. I wish
maximum grubs this time around. Corki good at hitting towers, Ziggs very good at hitting turrets. However, FPX are in the river first. Renekton is going to be slow to the play though.
I mean, Milky Way manages to grab one. Honestly, surely you're happy with that. TT trying to move in. FPX look like they do want this fight. Hoya trying to be pushed out the bottom side of things as Life commits really hard onto Hoya. Hoya's pretty tanky. He's in a 1v2 on the backside, and there's one down. Bullet time across the team as well. And TT have found 2. Feather trying to get out with his life, and the flash will do exactly that. ZDZ can't find a way in, and TT, they find one grub. Anything is really going to come up this one. Not with the support Maokai and a Corki. I don't think you're diving Poppy anytime soon, but it will be a second Drake. Not the guy for that. But TT going to start Herald off as a TP comes behind enemy lines from ZDZ. FPX want to force the fight, but Hoya TP's into the play as well. Is he there fast enough is the question. Steadfast presence as the Herald goes down. TT have the objective, but they can't get onto the eye, and FPX trying to chase it down. Everyone commits onto ZDZ. 5-man queue, but the healing's not enough. A kill for TT, but Herald denied.
So, teleports one pushing lane, and then your other solo lane teleports to it. That's what Care does here. ZDZ starts pushing in, Care teleports in, bam, first turret down, you have those 5 grubs. This is...
slowly whittled down. FPX don't have any minions to push with, and the tower will survive for the time being. They're still going. Look at all these mites, and finally a cannon arrives. And the tower will fall, but it's traded.
They didn't want to, it is just the one dragon on the other side. They can start getting some damage elsewhere. Tristana on mid-turn, can they take this? The backdoor bonus just about to come on. They just about get it. So, you know what? I would take this if you'd CC. You get a load of gold for just one dragon going the other side.
I mean, look across the scoreboard. 2,000 gold lead for H1 as he was a part of the tower takes on that top side. Got 500 gold lead for UCal. Minor gold lead in the bottom lane is not substantial. ZDZ is caught in the jungle, and TT just eviscerate him. Gets a bit of sunburn from Feather on the way out of the play, and a bit of real burn from the Ignite as well.
This was a good series of macro plays. I think this is going to work out massively in their favor. Adding on to the tower tally, they even get themselves this bot lane opened up. This is now Beichuan's chance to again, reaffirm his Nidalee Pass ownership, whether he can get those spears in those important moments. Jungle Soraka value coming out there too, the Primal Surge giving some heal. FPX have to use an ultimate for that though. That's the problem, you don't have that for a fight.
Big damage on life. And that Maokai just ain't tanky enough. Easy pickup, and honestly, I think a little overzealous.
Do justice there either. But that's the problem with the LPL. We have so many teams with these kind of stories. It's really hard to see who's going to do it justice.
Feather caught, trying to trade onto Life. There's other bullet time, and the bomb traded, but Life walks away, so does Care. It's a kill for FPX. That's all they'll get. They walk away limping from the battle.
As the bullets and the bombs come out, and you can see the 1x. I'm not quite sure if he got the bullet time angle right there, but Life gets out all the same. That's a big set of ultimates down from FPX now, though. Wards are going to be cleared. TT onto the Baron. They don't have a Leona. They don't have a bullet time. What have they got?
Hoya trying to buy space as 1xN is here as well, but Hoya chunked, and that's a two-man sleep as well. Flash from 1xN to keep himself safe, and Hoya, that's the flash as well. FPX Punisher.
It's definitely not going to be easy to bring into the late game. I guess you can say it balances out with a Renekton on the other side, but they would love to get themselves a big fight right now. Summoners pretty much all available. 1xN's crucially are down. That could be a big bump.
Feather trying to start an engage. Bomb just onto him as Hoya buys space and time. The bullet time is pretty huge. One down. Back. Dragon taken, and TT get the soul. It was Yukal with an auto to find the Dragon. ZDZ survives it.
And TT win against less ultimates.
They have a lot of damage to try and burst this out. Feather has to be the one to check. Beichuan would love to get in, but he doesn't have flash available. And the bombs from Dogdom just deny everything. The spear can't land. Beichuan trying to get into the base. 3k on the Baron as Beichuan enters, and he finds a spear on ZDZ. Yukal falls, but look at the lightning chaining across the team. Baron taken by Milky Way, but can he survive? TT try and chase for more. Baron
Poppy. Especially not against the Baron buff. So use that ultimate before to make sure that Care couldn't walk up with the 5 grubs and the Baron buff. It will slow the tower take by a wave. That means that Yukal can even this tower trade up a little bit. That's fine. It's going to be gold actually shared between a couple of members, I think, on that top side as well. So it's going to be more nucleated gold onto Yukal. He's also going to stick around for another bomb on this bot side. So he has teleport. He can get himself to where he wants as well. In terms of the grand power play of the Baron, I think TT are okay with this. They are going to be down some gold, but it can't be that bad.
Dogdom nearly caught by the solar flare, but gets his satchel charge. Feather not letting him get away. Dives further in, but the rest of the team are not on board with the play. Disruption within the TT ranks.
Yukal.
They just lose their support. Yukal behind everyone and decides he doesn't want to be behind everyone anymore. And FPX just get a freebie.
Yeah, FPX, they just hold the line, and Feather goes in way, way, way out of sync with the rest of his team, and now suddenly you have lost a kill against the Baron. That is the big no-no against Baron. You lose members with that. That's a big problem. It's going to be an inhib. I don't know if it's more than that, but it's going to be at least inhib, maybe even 2.
If they find a fight, it could be more. Hoya looking, hunting on this front line, but Feather's not up for another 5 seconds. Do have a gun, and they're looking to pull the trigger on this Elder Dragon. ZDZ looking to be the front line. He's on that blast cone, ready to jump into the fray as Hoya is clearing the wave still. 8k on the Elder, and it feels like TT can't make a decision. They're stuck. They don't know how to progress, and their health bars are slowly being chunked out. Hoya gets in, sends 2 away. No smite in the pit. This could be the moment for TT to find their miracle. They get the Elder, and they get a bonus on top. Care falls. FPX sent away as Yukal once more onto Dogdom. He can't find it, but TT, even a recall is enough.
It is TT gets something about how FPX are playing around this poke and also playing around their macro, that these kinds of buffs aren't ending the game for TT. I actually think FPX, I think they're pretty happy with how Lotus has played out, but now Baron has been spawned. Baron still up, but the Elder on TT.
Boy, a massively chunked bombs flying in. FPX, they don't want a straight up 5v5. Feather does. Forces out the Dominus, but Baron taken by TT. FPX.
A straight snipe fight. The bullet time buys a whole load of space here as well, and that spear gets the extra kill. Absolute snipe into the backline. TT.
Bottle lightning here. Perhaps they can find their moment and push us to 5 games. They're on the cusp. They're trying to break into the base, but yet to take an inhibitor. Now is their chance as 1xN moves into the mid lane here. Yukal pressuring in the top side in the meantime, and it will be 1 tower down.
1xn walking up very aggressively. Level 18s for the, well, pretty much everyone, but supports beyond this point too. It means max range Tristana, means very, very powerful Misfortune on the other side too. That Bloodthirster helping soak up some of that poke, and eventually it's going to be 2 inhibitor turrets down. UCal starting to flex the muscles.
Hoya spins his Poppycopter, does not fire the ult off, so low cooldown for that one, but the 2 inhibs are taken. TT very happy with the fact that they got the way at this point. One big sleep could be the end of a player, especially with a Ziggs bomb on top, but 1xn did have that cleanse available, doesn't have to use it in the end. 1xn with a very aggressive Hex Gate here, perhaps looking for some kind of positioning, but no, returns to his team. Maybe a misclick, honestly, based on him moving back in. Just trying to poke away and doing a good job of it. Milky Way's down to half HP.
That's nasty, and another spear. Baytron earning his keep here. Here comes Hoya.
This is TT's chance at keeping themselves alive in playoffs. ZDZ gets into the mix, but he's late game Renekton, and he's not doing enough with Milky Way down. ZDZ and Careful as well, and TT might just have done it. They talk with Thunder, they play with Thunder. Doctor denied his recall by Feather as the rest of the team look to end the game. TP from Doctum to try and clear the minion wave. He doesn't have his ultimate though, and UCal sends him to the fountain. TT have done it. They fight back from the brink and they push us to save.
Welcome to Onivia, League of Legends highlights. These are the best highlights from today's LPL matchup.
And Care very much getting the advantage in the mid lane 1v1. And to be honest, it feels like all
TT, they wanted to play through lane. They just lost first turn of the game. Wow. Solo mid lane down a side lane. This is not what they want to see.
Life and Milky Way are here. There's 3 minions remaining. Call of the Forge God sounds as UCal knocked up again, but the lightning clash isn't enough. No, it's enough for Care to grab first blood. It looks like he wants to trade for this dragon. He's moving straight up towards that top lane. Hoya is on the way towards the top lane, but the ward over the wall from Life, I'm pretty sure, is going to give Hoya a bit of a sign that this is not a tower that he wants to walk. And UCal, he may be behind on the Zeri, but he is still a Zeri with 3 grubs. This tower might just fall, and TT find themselves a fantastic trade.
Yeah, they do. That's a lot of good gold back into an important role. UCal, he's going to get himself...
Many times. And honestly, it's a sentence we've seen said during this series. You remember game number 1? It feels like a long time ago. We saw that Viego Aurora combination. It was certainly potent, but like I said,
you got to be careful not to give those resets over to the Varus passive as well. Very, very powerful on this patch. FPX, they have the ability to stop that Brand, the Zeri, and the Varus, but they can't disrespect them.
4 stacks for Milky Way, by the way, so it does have that range increase. Call of the Forge God, and ZDZ flashes to make it happen. Baytron, the target, and found a triple knock-up from Life as Care is on the bottom side, but he dips away as they try and jump onto him. Doctum getting the damage down in the meantime. It's 4v4 on the map right now, but there's no jungler for the side of TT as Doctum chases TT away, and Care is on the flank right now. There's no tower to get onto, and they're slowly being picked apart. It's the Drake for FPX, and perhaps a little bit more. Feather flash away from his life, finds the knock-up as well, and the Lamb's respite keeps FPX afloat. 1xn falls, not a single casualty in the follow-up fight. FPX, oh Lord!
Moment, TT, that was their moment to make a difference, and they cannot do it. FunPlus Phoenix getting themselves all of that damage after this point, but he just can't get enough done. He doesn't have the damage at this point. We're back into a fight.
Going again, and ZDZ's been caught this time. A good start for TT as Life gets onto the back line to try and answer, but he's caught himself. A double kill for Hoya as Doctum will go down too. UCal gets that, and it's Baron is onto the map. TT, they found a miracle again.
All of our first 14 minutes of all quiet on Summoner's Rift have been made up for here. 10 kills in the ensuing 10 minutes. And it's going to be Baron over to TT just as we were round 1, and it's still just so exciting. Baron buff being used, Baytron looking for the stun!
Doctum low, knocked up by the death charge, but he will survive. The Call of Forge God tries to save him as well. Tower down though, and Hoya's just charging on forwards. UCal is starting to stack up on this Zeri. Doctum low on HP, a True Shot Barrage is good, but it's not good enough to save these towers.
And FPX, they start falling apart to the random pick potential positions he wants.
Will just be a tower on the top side for FPX here as the Drake is spawning. A thought process here for FPX saying, look, let's wait 5 minutes, let's just scale a little bit more, get a couple more items.
Guys are starting on their terms, but you can't deny the power of this brand in this late game. We've seen him do it all year.
ZDZ on tank duty here, looking for further, and here comes the choo-choo train, but no! Doesn't get the second hit, and Milky Way's being burnt down. Lamb's Respite already used here. As on the front line, Baytron gets into the Lamb's Respite himself. The shield is there, and Mikhail saves the day, but FPX are so low. Arrows fly in, and a knock-up from ZDZ nearly saves the day. Stun from Hoya as Care tries to carry, and he might just do it. 1xN falls, and Care wants redemption from Spring as he takes the game by the horns.
I think they've done it! I think they've cleared the clouds! The Thunder Talk might have just fallen to a whisper. Dogtam and Care turn it around when they need it the most.
When it was all on the line, FPX, they went all the way to 5 games, but this story is not finished yet. This incredible debut from Milky Way, this incredible year from the rest of the squad, they keep their playoffs and world's dreams alive.
These were the best highlights from today's LPL matchup. Click that subscribe button faster than Ramus can say okay. See you on the next one.